We want you to understand that once life has caused you to put something into this vortex, that this is reality. In fact, it is so much reality that we want to proclaim to you in a way that you will always remember us shouting this to you lovingly. This is present tense. This vortex is who you are. That's why when you don't let yourself be up to speed with it, you feel the drag that is what is resistance, that is what is negative emotion. When you feel bad, it's because you're not up to speed with the present vibration of who you are. Which means, now hear this, this means that everything that is manifested so far is old news. It's old news. That's why you get bored so fast, and you know you do. You know you do. As quickly as a manifestation comes, you're off to the next one. And we want you to understand that this vortex of creation is where it's at, because it is where the vibrational version of you is. It's who you have become. And if you're not up to speed with it, even a little bit not up to speed with it, you're going to feel the diminishment of not being up to speed with it. So if you're really not up to speed with it, you feel despair. You feel powerless. If you're less not up to speed with it, how's that for a tricky way of saying it? As you're closer to the vortex, feeling some anger, you're offering less resistance, more allowance. If you're overwhelmed, you're offering less resistance than you were, but still a pretty good wad of resistance. Frustration, pretty good wad of resistance. If you're feeling hopeful, there's not much resistance in your vibration at all. And when you feel hopeful, on a pretty regular basis, the vortex will take you in, because you're close enough to cooperative that in you go. And once you're in the vortex, once you are in there, now you will have the full view of in the vortex. Now you'll be aware of things. Things will begin occurring to you. In other words, that hope turns to belief very, very quickly as you are in the vortex. And that belief turns to knowing very, very quickly once you're in the vortex, till you reach the place where you understand that you are creator, and that there is nothing that you cannot be or do or have. And that everything that is occurring in your experience is by your choice and by your choice alone. And so we are just suggesting that if you will make the way you feel a high, 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 in fact, the highest, in fact, the singular priority. How I feel, nothing is more important than that I feel good. Because nothing is more important than that I be in the vortex. Because nothing is more important than that I be a cooperative component to who I have become. Because when I'm not a cooperative component to who I have become, I'm not who I have become. In other words, doesn't that make perfect sense to you? You are creators. You didn't come to fix a broken world. It isn't broken. You came to explore it and to expand it. You came as eternal consciousness. So we want you to understand that as source energy, as we see you here in your physical experience, and you are giving birth to all kinds of new rockets of desires, we embrace those rockets and we hold steadily to the new place that you have carved out. We have access to the benefit that you provide. And then we stand as that steady signal so that you can find your way into alignment with it. Sometimes people say, so you're using us, eh? We're here doing all of this sifting and sorting. Sometimes they say, well, Abraham, why don't you come and be physical? Why don't you come and be physical? And we so want you to understand that that which you are is that which we are, and that which we are is that which you are. In other words, there is not a separation between us other than the temporary separation that you provide when you stand in negative emotion. In other words, it's all by your choice of thought that you hold yourself far too long outside the vortex. So, we are eager to talk with you about anything that is important to you. We're going to offer everything that we can offer to coax you in the direction of your vortex. We stand in complete, never-ending appreciation for wherever you are standing, because we reap the benefit of everything you ask for. So some might say, we do have the better end of this stick, because we stand in the place getting to receive the benefit of all of your sifting and sorting and expanding. But we want you to understand that this vibrational place where we stand, this place of love always, this place of constant knowing and appreciation, this place of riding the fastest wave into the new realm of expansion, it's there for you too. In other words, you get to ride these rockets. When you feel elation, when you feel shivers running through you, what you're actually feeling is what we're feeling. We just want you to tune yourself to that more. We want you to experience the joy of the life that you have carved out, as we do. So we're not having this conversation because your world needs to be saved, or your planet is in peril, or you'll be in trouble if you don't hear this. You're all doing just fine. It's all working out great. Really, it is. With one small exception, and that is you as humans are not nearly as joyful as you meant to be. Not nearly as joyful as you meant to be. You said, I am source energy. A part of me will come forth. I will explore contrast, and I will come to new decisions. And when a new decision is born out of me, I will feel the birthing of it and a momentary feeling of enthusiasm. And then I will use all of my determination and my willpower and my ability to focus in the direction of my newfound expansion. And I will train myself into the frequency of that until that is my normal vibrational offering. And I know that law of attraction, as it always does, will wrap itself around me with cooperative components that are equivalent to the vibrational stance that I learn and practice and achieve. That's what you said. And you said, and the best part of it. Let's see, what's the best part? Being born? No, not really. Sifting through the contrast? No, not really. Giving birth to a rocket? Maybe, but not so much. The very best part of it is having expanded and knowing that I've expanded, because I can feel that I'm not up to speed with my expansion, and then doing something about changing my thought until I get in the groove of the expansion, and then feeling myself be drawn by law of attraction into the cooperative component of the vortex of creation. That's the best part, you said, again and again. And you know that because you're always looking for adventure. You love that thrill of coming into alignment. You adore the feeling of relief. You tense and agonize against negative stuff. In other words, you know that you want to feel good. The reason that you want every single thing that you want, there's no one who wants anything for any other reason than that they believe they will feel better in the having of it. And we want you to understand that it's not the having of the thing. It's not the having of the girl. It's not the having of the boy. It's not the having of the relationship. It's not the having of the car or the empire or the job or the money. It's not the having of those things that you are creating that makes you happy. It's the having of the vibrational alignment with who you are. A woman said to us one day, Abraham, my lover left and now I'm sad. And we said, no, you're not. And she said, to be clear, my lover left and now I am very sad. And we said, no, you're not. People don't always speak what they're thinking. But what she was thinking is, you crazy ghost. Can't you hear what I'm saying? I was not sad. Then my lover left. Now I'm sad. I'm sad because my lover left. But we wanted her to understand, all sadness comes from holding yourself apart from the most expanded version of you. In other words, we wanted to explain to her that that relationship had caused her to create a vibrational version of a relationship, and that as she was focusing upon this man walking out of her life, she was focused in opposition to this relationship that she had carved out. That man was never the lover of her dreams. He was just a temporary filler for the lover of her dreams. But the reason she was sad, nevertheless, was not because he had walked out the door. She was just using his exit as her excuse to not be a vibrational match to who she is. You have the ability, no matter what, to focus yourself out of sadness. The reason that so often you don't believe that you can do that is because law of attraction has been active in your life. And if you've been beating the drum of something, law of attraction's been surrounding you with more things like that. So when you get going on something, and it's a far cry, a far vibrational cry from who you really are and all that you've expanded to, you feel bad. And then you begin making a sort of art of feeling bad. You email friends about how bad you feel today. You blog about it. You talk to your friends about it. You think about it. Someone said to us, it feels like my thoughts are thinking me. It doesn't feel like I have any control over my thoughts. I try to think more positive thoughts, but I just keep going back and going back and going back. And that's really what we're going to talk about here today. We want to show you how, if you stop doing that thing you do that's holding you apart from who you are, you'll move easily back to who you are. You don't have to. In fact, it's not even possible. It's certainly not a good idea to take something that's really bothering you, and in the middle of it really bothering you, try to talk about it in a shiny, brighter, fluffier way. Because the more you try to do that, the more it will just backlash, and the more you will defend your negative position. We want you to understand that just like the cork will bob on the surface of the water, oh, you can hold it under the water, but when you let go, it will bob right back up there. We want you to understand that you will bob right back into your vortex when you cease beating the drum of things that hold you in a resistant vibrational attitude. So, every now and again, Esther will say, but Abraham, I would like to be one of the rare exceptions to this. I would like to be able to vibrate outside the vortex and still get what I want. And we say, that's like saying, I want to take this corner at 100 miles an hour, even though everybody that's tried it over 80 went in the gully. In other words, there are laws that you understand, laws of gravity and laws of inertia, and you've learned to work within them. You know how far you can push them. Oh, you get better suspension, and you put better banking on your corners. In other words, we watch you. You smooth out the bumps in your road so that you can push the limits of inertia law and gravity law. And we see you do that with this law of attraction law. We see you ornerier than you really need to be. We see you pushing the limits of it. But we also notice that when you have powerful, powerful, powerful desire, which occupies part of your thinking, even though there's some doubt that you're lacing it with, you can still take those corners pretty good if your desire is strong enough. And that's really what we want to talk about in the hours that we are together today. I want to show you, with far less effort than you think, how you can tune yourself into alignment with all that you've been asking for, because we want your life to manifest in the way you want it to. However, if you could let go of your quest for manifestation just for a little while and satisfy yourself with the immediate improvement that emotion will bring you, the immediate improvement of just focusing in a way that you feel better, then we will have taught you to focus your way into your vibrational reality. And then you're home free, because you don't have to focus your way into your vibrational reality very long before your reality catches up with it. And when it does, Jerry and Esther must have used the word miraculous 200 times the day the tree came down. It felt miraculous in the sense that they so wanted it, and there it is. And every time they would say miraculous, one or the other of them would just grin at the other one, because they know these things that people call miracles are just logical response of law of attraction to your defined, deliberate intention. Expectation really is the most powerful word that we could present in a forum like this, because expectation includes what you want and your belief about it. When you're desirous of something and believing it, now your expectation is in a place where you're in the vortex. You're in there where the movement is. You're in there where the things are happening. You're in there where the rendezvous are being, and you're in on the creation. Don't you find it hundreds of times more satisfying to intend something that isn't, and then watch it become?